Here I sit, broken-hearted, came to shit, and the world ended.
Could you record some WoW footage for me? Actually, record me any footage you like. It's going to be for the Halloween video that's coming up, and I'd like for you to, get the footage and actually have some input on one of our videos.
Zoctis, if scientists got all of the germs of the world and put them into a petri dish, and then got all of the cures in the world and put them in another petri dish, and then put those two petri dishes into a boxing ring, and then took that boxing ring and put it under a microscope to observe it, what do you think would happen?
Oh Christ, wouldn't everything just counter itself out? Like, wouldn't all the different bacteria just kill each other?
You don't think that they'd slowly merge out and grow a hand and a body, and then
you
have
want,
a little punch?
Basically, you want all these germs to become basically one big tank from Left 4 Dead. And
no, they'll be tiny. We were observing it under a microscope. Remember?
Okay, but they look like tank, but the microscopic versions of a tank from Left 4 Dead, and.
Well, not really. I was imagining one with fighting old style, where he's got the Charlie Chaplin mustache. And he does,
the gentleman mustache.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle boxing.
I think that would be the cures. Whilst the germ guy, I think he would fight with some barbed wire. He would find some barbed wire and stuff and fight with that. What do you think about that? What's your?
Oh my god. I don't think I quite understand what you're going on about, but I'll just agree to disagree with you.
Perfect.
Right, okay, so we'll get all the bad germs in the world, put petri dish, all the hero germs in the world. And then microscope them. Okay. Oh, right. So not Yakult, good bacteria.
Not microscope them. Put them into two separate petri dishes. Put those two petri dishes into a boxing ring, and then place the boxing ring under a microscope so we can observe it.
So you want an all-out brawl with?
I just want to see what would happen. Just want to see what would happen. What do you think? They wouldn't even know they're in a boxing ring. Would they? We don't know. No. We're composed of cells. Ooh. They might know. They might have been waiting for this moment for the germ uprising.
I mean, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all wrong in this world.
What would happen is, right? I'm guessing that basically we'll have a Germania, which is like WrestleMania.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I think you're living in some kind of what world are you living in where these germs are gonna brawl it out? And in a boxing ring, not just any a specific boxing ring.
Yep.
Specifically a boxing ring.
I know it's a bit problematic that we've got to make such a tiny boxing ring for the germ petri dishes, and an even smaller petri dish to put the germs in.
That's the thing I'm thinking of. How small is this boxing ring got to be?
Well, it can fit into the eye of a needle because there's an artist that makes art in the eye of a needle, so we can just hire him to make the boxing ring.
There's that guy who can also write lyrics on rice, grains of rice.
Yeah. He can write the names and do the commentary as well. But we need a very tiny microscope, and then we need all the germs from every wrestle announcer to announce the fight. And then it gets problematic. So we could. I just didn't add that to the equation really.
Oh man. I think I'd like to see it. I think I would like to see your idea on this.
Would you buy tickets? You'd buy
I
tickets to to look through the microscope and observe what would happen?
I would, actually, yeah.
A petri dish punch-off?
Yeah, no, I'd like to see it. I'm curious.
Yay! I've inspired curiosity. I've accomplished something for today. Do you think if it all kicked off, other germs from other animals, like the most deadliest germs that kill like elephants, and the best germs that cured elephants would want to get in the action? Do you think it would spawn like a...
I think, I don't know, I think if we just test any of this out, we could put anything we want in it. It's like one of those God games, you know those God games where you can just...
Well, we'd have to make a controlled test, that's part of science. I mean, it is... and then we change the controlled, so it would probably take millions of dollars and lots of tiny
it would cost
dishes.
Billions, maybe more.
Yeah, not to mention, the artists who would have to make all this crap for us, so...
That's true.
And he would be like, what are you using all these tiny little boxing rings and robot war arenas for? Oh, that's something I forgot to say. If they get intelligent enough, that we could teach them to drive tiny little robots.
But, well, I mean, they might make tanks. If they evolve enough, they might get to a point. Well, is this basically going to be like a game of civilization, isn't it? It's going to be a game of Civ.
No, not... No. It's science. Making that very clear right now.
Plague Inc., whatever it's called.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because if we make them drive like tiny little robots, like those tiny little RC cars, but even smaller, so we might have to teach the artist to have an engineering degree or some sort. But then we can get all the germs from Crave Charles and get him put a little pastry disc on top of like the Polysteum of the Tiny Robot Wars arena, and then he can narrate it. The germs of Crave Charles can narrate it.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. Or if you prefer Jeremy Clarkson, because he was in the first series, shockingly.
No, that's alright.
It is quite funny to see him just with his hair and silliness.
I wouldn't want Jeremy Clarkson to do it. I would rather... I don't know.
Yeah, who
I'd
knows?
Rather do anything else.
I think his germs would be in the dangerous Petri discs. You're right. I agree with you, Zoctus.
Yeah.
All the Tim Allen germs are gathering together to form one giant Tim Allen germ in a tiny little Petri disc underneath a microscope. Okay. If you and I were a microscope and we were in a boxing ring together, who do you think would win?
Sorry, what was that? I missed that completely.
If you and I were both a microscope and we were in a boxing ring, what do you think would happen then? What if we were both the germs from microscopes in a petri disc in the boxing ring under the microscope?
Well, this is basically going to cause like world destruction, though.
No, it's only in a petri disc under a microscope.
Yeah, but it could become airborne.
No, it's petri dish.
There are, if it's every possible killing germ in the world, which it could be airborne.
But you've failed to realise that petri dishes can be contained. Like, you can put another petri dish on top of them, so it's contained, so they can't escape.
That's true.
So we just do that.
Nobody's got my back. Like, there's been a zombie punch my back for ages, and I was just expecting someone to kill it, and no one did.
You can just turn around and punch it.
I know, but everyone's behind me. You'd think people would be looking...
I think that's the killer of the game, though. You think someone will deal it for you and nobody does. Wow, there's a life lesson there. That is a life lesson. If a zombie's punching your back, no one else is going to punch it for you. Punch it yourself.